All right, we got a game and another 5Q game. Kind of late at night, but that should be fine. Either way, traditional start, 3-star link. I actually kind of want to play here to see what, but I'm actually just going to do this. See if he wants to play the Moyo. He actually played the right move that time. That is not the right move. If I do that, he's going to kick again. I haven't actually ran into anyone who actually did this. So I'm not exactly sure what to do with this right now. If I do this and he connects out, that's going to be a problem. Okay, that's obviously bad for me. I'm kind of tempted to do it anyways, but that's obviously bad for me. I have to do that. Let's try this. Huh. Yeah, I have to connect. See what he does here. Probably not the best move in the world, but probably wouldn't have done that, but you know. Definitely would not have done that. Oh, definitely would not have done that. You have to connect the top there. You 100% have to connect the top there. Okay, that's Gote, and he just lost all those points. And if you realize here that this corner right now is still not secure by any means. So my invasion is successful. I probably shouldn't even have done that invasion, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Horrible move. Horrible move. You never want to give me that on the corner. That solidifies my corner, no question. And you're still not that great off here. Also, I still have this move, so he didn't actually accomplish anything. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Don't want to give him the Hane. And this isn't actually worth all that much. Now if I do that, he can just... I'm just going to jump. Alright, that's kind of what I wanted him to do, actually. Interesting. Can't do that because I'm one short. If he co's, I'm just going to take the ko first, obviously. Right, do I really need to do this? I mean, he can't actually do anything right now. It's not going to bother. Still killed those two. This is irrelevant. He just gave me that. He like literally just gave me all those stones. I will take my territory and be happy. And he's still kind of screwed, honestly. Yeah, see now like he's weak and I'm really not. Yes, these two are kind of bothersome, but not really. And he's completely encircled in, by the ways.
Yoyomi now starts.
Because like this is all dead. And now I'm going to attack him over here. So he has a bunch of weaknesses. So he actually has a ton of weaknesses. And I'm actually okay with all of this. That's actually not that great, because if he does that... But I can ladder this, so it should be okay. Yeah, it's not a... that doesn't help him. No, I'm just going to do this. He's in a lot of trouble now. He's in a ton of trouble now. So he's got 2 sides to worry about, actually like 3 sides to worry about, and I have like roughly 1 to worry about. So, and I have a lot of liberties here. So he's definitely in a bit of trouble. I gotta figure out how to answer this though.
6, 5.
See if I can get a Sente here. That's not a good move. He should have done this, because that might have been like, that might have actually been a Sente. Actually, that doesn't matter. If he extends, I can just go this way. That was a misread by me. It's definitely more of a misread by me. No, because that's Sente. I have to protect this, I believe. It's not a good move, because I can just do this. I'm pretty sure I have more liberties than him. I've got too many on the outside. Doesn't work. That really doesn't work. I have way too many liberties on the outside for this to actually work. I don't even really need to answer that. So he resigns. So that's just like bad fighting. The thing is, like, he had so many separate groups to run that he was, I mean, like, this is dead, and that's probably dead as well. So I've gotten this whole thing. But the main problem that he made in this game, is that he divided me where I only had one weak group and he had like 3. And he already gave me a lot of territory with this. So even if this fight came out neutral and I didn't capture any of these pieces, I was way ahead just with this capture right here. So that's his main mistake. Oh, by the way, there's one more thing over here. This is Sente. Sorry, if this is actually Sente, let's say he plays somewhere like over here or something. This is actually Sente because I'm Ataring. You can't take this because I would just kill you like this. So if you do this, you have to do that. Actually, I can't do that because then you would be able to do this. But either way, then like since that's Sente, this group is basically dead. Because you have this, and there's really no way you're gonna win the Liberty War in here. So the corner group's actually dead. But now, like, I wouldn't be able to do that because I think there's this now. Yeah, you just extend and then you would take these 4 stones, and I don't want to lose this group, so I can't actually do that because of the tightness in here. But it doesn't really matter. I've killed pretty much everything here. But once again, his mistake in this game, and he made a lot of them, but his mistake in this game is you can't be running 3 of your own groups against when your opponent's only running 1. The thing is, like, the key here is like when he didn't answer this ko, and he just did this, and he just did this, like my group all of a sudden becomes settled, and you know, like your group's basically alive at this point. So I mean, I don't really know what you would do here because you really don't want to do this and then extend out because I can easily just run. And like now you have to worry about this and this. You might try to bisect these groups, but you know, you're so weak. Black's really weak in several areas, and this probably doesn't work very well for him either way. So he actually did this. He actually did that. It's big, but at the same time, like, it's big, but at the same time, like, other things are actually bigger. Like, that's going to be bigger. That solidifies the corner. And then obviously doing this, and then me just like solidifying the corner there. My thought on here is I've already captured this. I don't know if you're going to run this or not. I've already captured this side. And if I just get this corner and some of this territory over here, I'm going to have enough to win. Because there's always like this over here. And because there's always that over there, like, black really doesn't have anything besides this corner. So regardless, I'm actually ahead by a lot once this actually happens. This is just not really that great of a technique, because I can just run out. And if you run out here, obviously, like, I'm going to take this first, which is already a lot of territory down here. And you're just in a really tough bind here, because your shape is really pretty bad. You wouldn't do that. I think you would probably do something like this to threaten my 2 stones. But either way, like, these 2 stones aren't an easy... These 2 stones, honestly, are not an easy kill. And, yeah, these 2 stones definitely aren't an easy kill. If I do this, you would just probably cut here, and those 3 would be dead. But, like, if I play this, like, you're still in a really tough bind. Because, like, these stones in here are pretty weak, and you're still not, like, really that well connected up here either. And you're always like, the thing is, like, there's always this move that would disconnect your group, right? So you're always going to be kind of in a bind here. So, like, that's probably, like, how you would play it out. You might just have to sacrifice these stones in here, but in that case, black would lose because black doesn't really have any territory. So essentially, like, Ataring out and creating another weak group. I just don't think this is a good idea, because now you have one, and then you have like this group in here. I don't really know how I would actually play this at this point. Like, white's already pretty far ahead. White honestly is already pretty far ahead. Like, at this point, first of all, like, this ko, you have to answer this ko. There's not a good way to answer this ko, by the way. But you absolutely have to answer this ko. Because if you don't answer this ko, and I take this group, then there's really not that much you can do. And then you just have to fight my ko, essentially. There's other, like, there's ko threats. You do have ko threats. You could use that as a ko threat. But the difference here is that, the real difference here is that this group isn't settled or alive yet. I mean, you have to continue to answer my ko threats. Yes, but you can also make ko threats of your own over here, which I would not be able to ignore very well. And there's other ko threats, like, this is a ko threat. Right? I don't want this group to die, so that's a ko threat. Although for this ko threat, I just might do this and then try to kill this group. But, like, you can't ignore this ko threat, because, first of all, the territory, you can't really ignore this ko threat because, first of all, the territory implications are just huge. And, my Moyo's coming into use, and there's really not a good way you can play this. Like, if you did this, and I just did this, I mean, basically, like, all this is mine now, and black doesn't have any territory to match that, because this is alive. So, definitely, like, a big mistake in play right there. And, of course, like, once you get into this situation, you're just kind of lost. I guess that had to be done. And these are just like natural progressions. There is kind of a move, right? There is kind of a move he missed. I was looking at it, maybe like this. But I don't even know if that would really work. I mean, I don't think this would even work. So that's one thing I was kind of looking at, because I can't block. Maybe you can do something like this. Yeah, you can actually do something like this. That would have been his, like, that would have been his move. Like, do something like this, and then do something like this, and take these two. But you still lost the bottom here, and the thing is, like, once I saw that you did this, You know, I might have just like said screw the center and just kind of like take this, you know, take the bottom part as well, because that just gives me a lot of points, and that's easily enough for me to win the game. You could take the 2 stones, but they're not really worth all that much now since these 2 are already dead. So you get out, but you don't really have any territory. You get out, but you really don't have any territory. If you just did this, I might solidify the corner or just like do something else later. You don't have any territory, and I have a lot of territory here and also here, so white would actually win this pretty comfortably, I would guess. But yeah, like when I did this, this is the move to make. That is really the only move you can make at this point. You do that, and then essentially you have to connect this and take the 2 stones. I would go ahead and take the bottom here. And at this point, like, white is way ahead because black doesn't really have any points. This corner is like, you could do this and solidify this corner. I mean, even if you do this, it doesn't really solidify the corner. And the reason being is like, this move is still here. So like, realistically, like, you could Hane and solidify this corner. Now that corner is solidified, but you just gave me another move. And at this point, I might just block this, and I'm just going to have way more territory than you. Like, if you put the estimator on, it's white plus 66.5. I don't think it's actually 66.5, but white's like way ahead here. So, yeah. So let's actually go back further in this game, because by the time you didn't answer this ko and you got yourself into the situation, you had pretty much already lost. This invasion, like, this whole sequence is pretty poor. Let's actually go back to here. Like, like, this one is kind of weird to deal with. I've never had someone do this. I've basically never had someone do this. I would just suggest that on this, you would do this as well, because this side is very nice. First of all, that's not a good invasion, but this side is actually very nice for you. Once I do this, you would definitely either do this or do this. This invasion is just kind of weird, because if I pincer, there's not a really good move that you can do. You can jump up, but you don't really have a base down here. And these, I'm not particularly afraid about, like, these particular stones. So I would probably just take this opportunity to, like, wield my corner over there while you try to escape. So that's not really a good move. And as you can see, I just kind of ignored that move from him. So, like, once this is finished, you would either play here and protect your corner over here, or you would play here and make your moyo. So those are the 2 I would suggest you would play. Like, this is not an extremely valuable move. I know he's trying to break my side, but I mean, a pincer here just doesn't feel good. It really doesn't. So, because there's no establishment of base. And this particular move doesn't really have any, like, yes, you could approach here now, but I would just do the same thing, fly down. So not a very good choice. You either protect this corner or play that. So obviously, like, you know, when he did this, you see I just ignored him because I knew that wasn't going to be a good thing. This particular attachment, I don't know if that was good or not. I think it was okay. I kind of was like gauging, like, should I actually play here? Or should I just go ahead and, like, play here, wait for him to play something like this, and then just solidify, like, not that, but solidify my corner over here. I was actually wondering, like, about that, but I decided to attach. I'm not really sure if that's a good move or not. Really not sure if that's a good move or not. He can't do this, obviously, because that's no good. So he was doing this. I can't do this because he can actually come out here. Well, yeah, he can actually come out here, and if he does this, it's really hard for me to deal with because there's too many cutting points for me. So I can't do that. I have to keep going here. Then at this point, you know, I don't know, like, I actually don't know if this was a good move or not. I know he has to answer, and then, you know, that might have just been the move that he could make. Because, yeah, I do break down, but I don't know, like, you're still giving up the side, so I don't know how much worth it is actually for white, you know. I guess it's okay because this move is still here. But it doesn't kill black. So you still gave up a lot of the side, and you're not getting all... I mean, you get a little bit of influence, but you're not really getting that much in return because your shape isn't honestly that great. So I was just like looking at that. Obviously, you do this. I'm not going to answer that, and just realistically at this point, I would say this or just this is the biggest move. There's some points on the side here, but you can do this at any time. And if he spins an extra move solidifying the side, then you're going to get a better move elsewhere. So if you run into that situation, I would probably just protect the corner over there. But, you know, I kind of got trapped in it as well. I didn't play this sequence extremely well. Here, obviously, that lives. That's a horrible move. You either just don't answer this at all, which is probably what I would do, and I would just take the corner over. I would definitely just take the corner over here. You either just don't answer that, and actually, like, once it gets to that point, you just don't answer that because there's not a good answer to do. Like, all the answers are way too small. All the answers are much too small, and they're not really going to prevent me from... I mean, you might do that, and I probably have to do that to just be alive, I guess. If you... Well, I guess. Well, I mean, I'm not alive that way, but I know this is actually alive. I just don't... Oh, maybe it's not alive. Maybe I just miscalculated that. Like, that's bad because I can do this, obviously. But if you had just done this or something, like, I would have had a very, very tough time. I don't think this is... Yeah, this is actually not alive. So he actually made a big mistake there. And I actually made a mistake just assuming this was alive because it's not. Might have been better off doing this. But I'm not really sure if this is alive either. You would probably have to answer this, though. And then this would be alive. You could... I guess you could go in for the kill, but... that would be kind of dead. But you would have... a lot... You would actually have quite a few issues here. Not really sure how that would work out. Really not sure how that would work out. I mean, it's still pretty bad for white. So I guess white isn't alive here, and I shouldn't actually do this. Because this is actually... This is, like, not... This is not alive, because you have this... because there's this Atari here, this is actually not alive. I actually miscalculated this. Need to be more familiar with this Joseki. Definitely need to be more familiar with this Joseki. But there's definitely Aji on the corner here, though. There's definitely, like, Aji on the corner here. So I shouldn't have made that invasion. But he kind of messed that up. So, like, yeah, that's bad, obviously, because I can come up here. Then you don't have an answer. And this... Okay, in this situation, you don't do this. You just connect and let me go on home. That's the answer there. Because all I do is I get some influence. I get it go on home. I destroy your territory. But... doing this is really, really bad. Doing that, obviously, is really, really bad. There's a lot of cutting points here that I can make use in the future. You could take this back, and I would have to make alive, and it is your Sente. But it's, like, letting me take that I don't think is so great. I would definitely take the other option. But yeah, this was dead if you just did this. Yeah, there's no way you can make this live. So this was actually dead. That was my mistake. But he didn't know how to kill it, so yeah. I don't think you should repair that, because if I do that, you take this. Like, remember, taking this ko is Sente, so there's no point in repairing it. Just, at this point, just take the corner. Just take the corner. Because now you give me Sente, and then I do something like this. And then you eventually... Yeah, no, don't do that. Because, once again, you do this, I pincer. You don't really have a good move. Just... Here, either take the 3-3, or take the corner and approach. Those are the two biggest moves right now. So yes, he played this wrong too. And you can see like, I'm just going to ignore him. I'm pretty strong here. I get the 3 mids. So like him messing up here obviously cost him some points because this group is originally dead. Got to remind myself not to do that. That is an awful move because that basically solidifies my points in the corner. Now now that corner is basically mine. And you just made me a lot stronger there. You have to do that, but then, I'm just going to get the points in the corner. You do that, protect my base. That's not a move that's that great because I can easily set, because once again, like you're not low enough to establish a base. You're not actually low enough to establish a base. So I'm just going to do this. And here you would probably just jump up because I can't really do much here, I really can't do that much there. And if you cut here, obviously you have this little avalanche thing. So, yeah, I would probably just jump up. I could do this, I guess. But that's really not that great for me either, as you can see. So, yeah, once I do this, that's probably the best move. And honestly, I probably should have done this instead. And fight this way, because now you have 2 separate groups, and I only have 1 group. And I also still have kind of a base that's in this corner right here. So I made the wrong move there. I should have done this and not come out this way. But he did that, so I double Hane. And then, like, now I have the tiger's mouth. Now this one is very weak. He tries to survive it. I just do this and just jump out. That's not a very good move. It makes me stronger. Doesn't really get him too much. I guess it kind of helps him get out, but not really. Because I already have a base down there, so I'm not really that afraid of this. I'm gonna disconnect to see what he does. Because now he's got this group that's weak and this group that's weak. And you can see how that really didn't work for him. The Ko's not... I don't know if I would fight this Ko right now. And honestly, like, realistically, like, taking this would have been fine for me. Because I don't know how you would actually repair this situation. You do have to repair it. You do actually have to repair this, because if you just hop out here or something, I'm going to do this. And this, I guess you could do that. Yes, you could do that, but you're not necessarily alive quite yet here. But either way, you're not necessarily quite alive here yet. I did this, of course, and then like he didn't answer, so I just took it, and the game just evolved from there. So yeah, you can't actually you don't separate yourself out into 2 really weak groups. And fight, because if you separate yourself out into 2 really weak groups, you're not going to actually do this. You're not going to do that well. This group, as I've shown you, isn't actually settled. Is in no way settled, because you can just do this, and then he has no eyes essentially. So he would have to run both groups and deal with both groups, while I have maybe 1 weak group here that's already semi-settled in the corner. So this definitely favors me. So alright, hope you learned something. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.